Hi, it's Tanya with Red Cardinal Crafts, and I'm going to be working on this. It's a Kaisercraft Avent calendar. I bought this last summer at Carson Mosier in Truro, Nova Scotia, when I was home to visit. This is what it looks like. I mean, it's not all put together like this. It comes kind of flat, but you get all the little boxes. You get the numbers. They come like this, all the little shelves, basically, or dividers, whatever you want to call them. So they're gonna go all in there. And you can see from the picture that this is, like, that part is sort of set back in, and then you have all your boxes going around there. And that's what it looks like, just plain. I did 8 little boxes last night, and I'm so... Let me turn a light on, see if I can get some more light going on here. I'm really, really happy with how they're turning out. The paper that I'm using, let me just grab that, is not that one. It's this one. It's My Mind's Eye. It's the Lost and Found Christmas pack. Love this paper. So the little boxes come like this. And it's nice thick cardboard, so they all fold up like that, and you glue them. But what I'm doing is I'm lining the insides with this color paper. Now this paper I get from the Dollarama when I go up to Halifax. It's just $1.50. You get 5 different colors. There's just white, cream, and then 3 types of brown. I don't know if you can tell there's 3 types, but there's a dark, a medium, and then almost like an olive weird beige color. So that's the color I'm using. And I've lined the inside of the boxes. Let's see if I can get some light over here. And I just kind of inked the edges before I closed it up. And to seal the edges of the boxes, I've been using glossy accents, and it holds it really nice. And then I've been using the Lost and Found paper to cover the boxes. I don't do the bottoms, but I am using the Mod Podge matte to seal them. So I've put some on the inside, put it on the outside. They dry pretty quick. So just take the little box template, I guess it is, and I'm just going to trace it. It fits pretty close to the size that it is, so I just do a rough outline like that, and I'm just going to trim it out. So I glue that, and I stand it up as I'm setting the glue, just to make sure that the overhang, excuse me, the overhang is making sense. You'll know what I mean. Because if not, if I glued it all flat, when I pull it up, it's going to pull all the paper from the center. So I glue the one that has the whole part, and then I glue the middle. I'm just using my tacky glue. I love tacky glue. And then even when I do the middle, I kind of stand the sides up just to make sure everything is going to fit nice and smooth on the bottom. Alright, so you get it all glued down, and now you have all your edges. So I just take my scissors and trim the top ones. And then I go in with my X-Acto knife. But the problem is, now that it's starting to set, the boxes kind of set up like this. So I just take something with a surface and then I just put my little tiny mat on here, and then I just hold it like that, very rough, and just trim these extra sides off. I'm sure there's an easier way an easier way to do this, but this is how I've done all the other ones. Then what I do is I go in with my ink. I just have my Ink Essentials thing. I need some new pads. They're getting messed up. This is the brown I started with, but unfortunately it's running out of ink. And I just go around all the edges, and then on the inside there, I just kind of hold it and stand it up on its side, just so I can get those little areas there. Then I take my glossy accents, and just always double check with a box just to see how it's supposed to close up, because the front is supposed to go and be hugged on the sides by the two sides. You know what I mean? Like that's like that instead of this on the outside. See what I mean? All right. So I'm just gonna put some of this down this side and down this side. And all this is going to be covered in paper, so it's okay if you get a little messy, and it's going to have Mod Podge coating on it, but as long as you've got the glue just to hold the box together. This bonds quite quickly. So then you're left with a box like this. Okay, so now I'm just going to cover it with paper, and I just start at the back here and I curl it around, and then where it was curled I just used my bone folder and just press it nice and make a nice edge. And I do this all the way around the box. Just makes it easier when you're gluing that you have it all sort of measured out. And then there's going to be a bit of an overlap on the back, which you want. You don't want to ever like try to be piecing it together, and you know what I mean? So do an overlap. You can see there that it overlaps a little bit. And I'm just going to trim it. And just make sure that's going to be good. It's going to overlap like that. And then you just get your glue, and I start gluing at that same point where I measured the paper. Come on, glue. Let's go. And here I just go to this point, and then I just do the glue on the edge of the paper. Because I don't want to take it too far this way, and then it's not even needed. So there is our little paper box. And then you can see that there's overlap, so all I do is I use my knife and I just trim the excess. And it's okay if you're a little messy on these edges, because I end up sanding them down a little bit anyway. And for this whole area, I just kind of go right past it for now, just to trim the paper. Like that. And then I just go in and cut the circle. So it looks like that. And then I have lost what I was about to use. Okay, so then I just sand these edges a little bit. It's not for effect because I'm going to go over it with ink anyway, but it's just to get rid of the loose little paper bits, or if there's any kind of overhang there, it just kind of shaves it down a little bit. Alrighty. Now I'm going to ink. I love inking stuff. I don't so much enjoy the process of the inking, but I love the look of it afterwards. Alright, so there is my box, and then I just need my Mod Podge, and my paintbrush is gone. It's in the laundry room. Hang on. Okay, I washed out my brush last night. Make sure you do that, because if not, you're going to ruin your brush if you put any kind of glue or anything on it. Alright, so you just take this, put it in the box. Remember, after you've sanded it, to blow out all the little paper bits and fuzzies that you're left with. And you just coat the box. Now it's going to dry clear, so you don't have to be too neat. I do try to make some even brush strokes. And then I just do a coating on the bottom too, because I figure why not? And then the whole thing will be protected. I'm going to continue on and finish making all these boxes. Alright, I'll be back. So I just made 2 little boxes to go into the frame of the Advent calendar. and one is for Bryn and one's for Kerrigan. Kerrigan, her stuff's always wrapped in green paper, Bryn's is always wrapped in red, so I thought I would continue the same idea for this Advent calendar. And what I think I'll do is glue these boxes to this area just so it'll stay, but not the lids. You'll be able to take the lid off, and then each of them will get like a special little thing inside each of those boxes for the final day. And then I'm going to do a tree or 2 trees in the background here, but I'm waiting for my Gypsy power cord. I needed a new cord for my Gypsy, and hopefully it'll be in the mail today. The way I did these boxes, I just took a piece of paper that was 4.5 by 4.5, scored it at 1.5, and then at 3, and then folded up all my sides and excuse me, cut the sides like this so that you could fold it up. Sorry, holding the camera with one hand. I'm just on my way out the door, but I thought I would film this really quick. So something like that. I cut a couple pieces away because I needed to use them. So I did a brown box, and then I just covered it in the paper. And the way I covered it was the same way I covered all these little boxes. I just had a strip of paper, and I just glued it down and went all the way around. And then for the bottom, that's why this piece was missing some paper. I just took a piece and put a square on the bottom, and then I just inked all the edges of it. And then for the lid was, what size was my lid? I didn't take the actual, see, when I'm working I just do a little scrap of paper. Yeah, I think it was the same. Yeah, I think I still did 4.5 by 4.5. It was a waste because I ended up trimming it down to like a smaller size like that, but just to make it properly. I couldn't, yeah, I didn't figure out how to make it smaller. But anyway, it was, I scored it at 1.5, and then instead of 3, I scored it at 3 1/8, because you have to make the lid a little bit bigger than the box or it's not going to fit down over the box. So that was for the lid, and then I just took a piece of paper like this, did the same thing, and then this one I made way too big, but anyway, and then you just kind of do this and make your lid like that. And this height here is just a 1/2 inch for the top of it. So the lid, I scored it at 1.5, 3 1/8, and then the edges are just 1 inch high. Alright, so that's my little box. And yeah, so I'm getting there. My friend Phyllis emailed me the other day to remind me about my Advent calendar, and that December 1st is quickly approaching. So I'm trying to get this done. I really hope my Gypsy cord is in the mail. I know I could just use my Cricut, but I just find it so much easier to figure things out using the Gypsy. So I'll be back again. Yay! Look what just came in the mail today. Thank God I can get working on this. And I'm just cutting out some trees to put in the background, and this cartridge is actually from Christmas, which came on my my Gypsy. So, sorry, my husband's watching a movie in the background. And it's very loud. So this one here, I think is from the same cartridge. Let me just check. Yeah, so it's that tree right there, and then that one down there, the double trees. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to do, okay, I can't do this and hold it at the same time. Okay, hang on. So I did the big tree, I just inked the edges of it in a darker green, and I did the shadow of it. So that's going to go like this. And then in behind it, I did this set here, that set there, and this is how it originally cuts out, but in order to fit it in this box, I ended up trimming it. I took that part off there and just kind of made it up, because I want it to go right to the very edge here, and when I was doing it with this piece, it was just way too long. And I want it over on this side so that when I lay it down here you can see it better. It's gonna go, I have this one here. It's gonna be like that. I'm going to have this one kind of in front a little bit, and then my other tree is going to go in front of both of those, like this. So I'll show you when I get that done. Okay, I glued this set of trees to the back, and I glued this one on top of the shadow version. But what I'm going to do here is that's going to stand in, but I want this tree here to be in front of it a little bit, so I'm just going to put some glue dots all along the inside underneath that part of the tree, just so that this other set will stand behind it a little bit. So I just placed the trees and I put glue dots behind them. I actually did 2 glue dots on top of one another just so it would pop out a little bit more, and I just did them on this side of this tree as well. So it pops out like a little bit from the back. And now I'm just coating it with some Mod Podge. I'm just coating all the trees in it. I just have this tree has all these little parts that kind of lift up, so I'm just kind of Mod Podging underneath, and just gives it a little bit of dimension to the tree. And when some of them don't pop up, I'm just using my little pokey thing to lift them up a little bit. And it just gives a little bit more dimension to everything. I have all my numbers all painted or inked, and I just went around and made sure that the boxes fit in and out of each of these nicely. I asked the girls, they want them to go in numerical order all the way around instead of just completely random. And I just made sure that each row had pretty much, because I have 6 different patterns, so there's the 6 different ones, there's the 6 different ones, there's the 6, and then there's the 6. So I just tried to split up the pattern. So I've got red stars there, red star on that one, red star down here, and red star there. So just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And now I'm going to take the numbers, I'm going to glue them to each box. So I'm just taking them out as I work, and just giving them a good coat. I'm just leaving them out for now until they completely dry, because I don't want them to stick. The weird thing is that ink that was kind of brown started to go a little bit green, but that's okay because it works with everything. My sister suggested this because I told her I wanted to decorate this tree a little bit, and she suggested some jute. I don't know how to say it. She said it. I don't know how to say it. And I'm trying to figure out which color to do, because I think I might just decorate this one tree and just kind of string those things on there, because I was about to glue these boxes down. I was like, wait now, let me just see what I can do with these little trees here. I'm just playing with the idea of this string, and I'm trying to figure out which color. I like the red, but I think it's too bright, but then I've got the sparkly red there, so I don't know, and maybe it's gonna look silly. So let me just play with that, and I'll show you what I come up with. So I used this brown color. This is by American Crafts. I don't think the color is written on here specifically. Anyway, so what I did was I just, every inch or so, I put a double knot, and I just knotted the string, and then just kind of made a little garland out of it. And I just put a little dab of glue on some of the knots just so it would stay. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking the lid, and I poked a little hole and just put 3 little knots, and then I put a knot on the other side. And then what I'm doing is putting a little hole in the box, and what that's going to do is just make sure that this doesn't get separated from each other. It's like, you know, like a camera lens hooked onto a camera, so it's just going to be a little string that's just going to always have the lid and the box together. And then I've done name tags for the girls. I just did tiny little name tags. And this is Bryn's. I'm still trying to figure out how to decorate the top of the box to tie the little name tag on. But I just strung the string through them right now, so mostly so they don't get lost on my chaos area of a desk. And so right now I'm just attaching these little strings, and those will be hidden in the back. You're not going to see the knot or anything, but it's just so that when the lid comes off, it'll do like that. It'll just stay together so it doesn't get lost over the years. Maybe it's way too precautionary, but that's what I'm doing. I was just thinking maybe a burlap sack, like with the tips of presents sticking out, like a Santa sack or something. I think that might be kind of cool. Alright, change of plans. The sack was looking silly. What I'm going to do, though, is because there's a sleigh there and we're in the forest, I'm going to do a reindeer. Just a silhouette of a reindeer and put a shadow in behind it. And this one is actually from... Let me see if I can figure out... Yeah, that's the one I used for the trees, too. So this Christmas one is just... I think this came with the Gypsy, because I don't own a cartridge that says Christmas. So that's where I got the single tree, that's where I got the double trees, and that's where I'm going to get the deer. There's one that's doing this, but it's like, I don't know, it's like rocket reindeer. So I'm going to go with this guy that's kind of looking away. And this guy looks like he's going to trample the gifts if I put him on that side. So I'm just going to do one and put him there, I think. I'm going to try anyway. Alright, so I glued my deer with the shadow, and I used pattern paper just to give it a little something. And I was trying to figure out if I should do it on the left, but I think I'm going to do it on the right because it just brings more interest all the way from the sleigh down to the side. Alright, so I can't leave the back untouched, so I just took one of the pieces of paper and I just put Handmade with Love for Brendan Kerrigan, November 2013. The only frustrating thing about this thing is that it's not a true 12 by 12. It's a little bit bigger, so what I was going to do is just take some of these star pieces of paper and just put them around the side. So this project is done. Oh my gosh. It was the first time I had ever done something like this, like a kit, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and I'm sure I'll be using it for many, many years. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.